Hey guys, Gary with Door Closers USA. Today we're going to be going over our Alumitrex storefront door system installation video. And this particular Alumitrex door setup is the double acting model. So what that entails is it's actually a center hung door package, and it utilizes this concealed closer. Now we do offer Alumitrex storefront doors with the surface mount door closer, with the offset pivot hung type, or butt hung type, or even concealed closer with offset pivot hung type. But for this video, this is actually the center hung double acting model, meaning the doors can swing both ways. This is one of our most popular door types. So what we have here is we have basically the strikes jamb, the sort of pivot side jamb, and then we also have here the head. So when you get this, there is some prep work you need to do. So the first thing we want to do is, utilizing our hardware pack, we're just going to bolt this bracket in place here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have this machine screw here and then this nut. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll just get them started. And as you can see, there is a little prep work, but everything has already actually been, prepped for us. So it's just assembly, really. And you can see these lay flat. So this is the top head of the frame. So I'll just go ahead and tighten this down real quick. Guys, one of the things that sets the Alumitrex door system apart from other storefront doors is this concealed closer. It really makes for a nice aesthetic look because you don't have this big bulky door closer on top of your storefront door, and they just tend to last longer and just easier to service. So now that that's in, it's ready to go. So I'm just going to slide this shut a little bit so that I can access this other bracket. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go down here. And you can't really mismatch this because each bracket has different hole preps. So if it doesn't line up, then just swap it. So I'm gonna go ahead and check this side first. And the head should fit flush with this frame. So it looks like it's the wrong way. Let's go this way. Okay, there we go. And then there's that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna utilize these screws here. There's 4 of them. And I'm going to go ahead and screw this in real quick. Good. Now I'm going to slide this down, guys. And again, you can see that these previously prepped holes match perfectly with this bracket. Make sure this is nice and flush and the holes line up good. And then we're just gonna go ahead and screw this one in. Guys, now that the frame's assembled, let's go ahead and set this into place. So I'm just going to tip it up and then carefully walk it into place. standard door, 36 by 84. So the actual frame face is 1.75. So the exact end-to-end of the frame width should be 39.5 inches, which will call out for a 40-inch rough opening width. And then height will be 85 3/4 inches, which will call out for an 86-inch rough opening height. Here we go. Okay. Gonna center it in here. Okay. Okay, guys. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling some holes, but basically it includes a snap-in filler plate that'll cover this area. So here I'm gonna probably drill 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, maybe more depending on how much you need. And then I'll just use my own anchors to go into the wall. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get the other side too while we're at it. Those 1/4-inch holes are drilled. We can go ahead and attach the frame to the roof stud. Of course, if you're going into brick or a metal stud, just depends on what your wall type is. The anchor type will change, obviously. But since we're going into wood stud, I'm just going to use, let me go grab my screws real quick. Obviously, if you're doing brick or some CMU or something like that, you could use a rotary drill and use Dynavolts or something like that. But again, this was a 39.5 inch end-to-end frame with a 40-inch rough opening. So it should be about close to a 1/4 inch on each side for this frame. So for this application, I'm just gonna kind of center it into the stud right here. You can hold it to one side if you'd like. Let me go ahead and attach it and then we can shim it. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and line this up here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it a little loose because I know I have to shim it, guys. That's good. I'm gonna go ahead and put one shim back here. Okay, let's line this one up, guys. Right here. That's where that'll go. Let's make sure we level both sides. Looks good. Go ahead and attach it. These are the types of screws I'm using too, guys. These here. And I just screw it in right before I see the deflection. So you can see that's too much. You can see it deflecting. It's gonna be hard to get that filler plate in. I'll back it out a little so you can see kind of how it's deflecting. I just go right before it does. Right there. It's good. Okay, guys. And then let's go ahead and get the middle one. And the side I'm doing is the pivot side right now, guys. Okay, let's get the other side now. Check with the shim. get a tape measure real quick. I just want to make sure. Okay, let's leave that loose so we can shim it. Okay, let's see where we're at right now. We should have 36 inches between the inside of the frame, which we do, spot on. Which we do, good. So let's just make sure we shim it right. Check to make sure it's level, looks good there. So I'm actually gonna attach the bottom one real quick to lock this into place. And I'll just leave it loose. Let's go ahead and get a shim going here. That looks good. It's really good. So right there, it's level. Let's just go ahead and double check again real quick. 36. 36 there. Okay, so now that this frame is in, we're ready for, let's go ahead and do the overhead concealed closer now, guys. So what I have here is the concealed closer. So here's the spring adjuster, guys. That's gonna line up with this hole here. So it's just gonna slip into here, and then we're gonna screw it in and attach it into here, and there's a screw that goes in here. So I'm gonna do this bolt first. So here I have it. Go ahead and do this. Okay, so the other bolt, the other screws are these here. And those are just going to attach with the lock washers right into here. Right here. So let's go ahead. Okay, and I'll tighten up that 7/16 real quick. And the concealed closer will be ready to go. So this attaches to the top of the door. We have a bottom pivot with the threshold, so we're gonna wanna do that. Okay guys, so we're now ready to install the threshold and bottom pivot set. Here I have it here. It just goes right into here with the lock washer and nut. There is no adjustment to this style. It just goes in and you tighten it down. So I'll show that here. Make sure this is nice and tight. Nice and tight, because you don't want it coming loose later. Okay, so that's there. And then how it works is, after we mount the threshold, this is actually going to be installed at the bottom of the door. This is the door portion of the pivot set. And if you look, assuming it's on the door, the stud sits perfectly into that bearing, allowing the door to free swing both directions. On the back, you'll notice there is this adjustment screw. What it's actually doing, guys, is as I thread this in, it's threaded into a block and is pulling a block towards it that's ramped. So what that means is it'll actually raise this up and down, or raise and lower the door. So you could see it starting to come down, and then it goes up. So it's an adjustment for raising or lowering the door. That's how you adjust the height of the door. It doesn't come with holes, so let me go ahead and drill 3 holes real quick, and then we'll get this going. 2. Put 1 right beside the pivot too, because this is where all the force is going to be. Okay, and then let's countersink. Let's go ahead and countersink this real quick. Let's go ahead and install the threshold. Okay guys, so the stud is just going to be directly below the spindle for the concealed closer. Okay guys, we're ready to mount this threshold. And again, so we want to make sure that the pivot stud is directly underneath the concealed closer spindle. And this is what we call a center hung door. So this means that the pivoting point is at the center of the door. What that means is this is actually a 4-inch threshold. This is a 4.5-inch jamb. So you're just gonna want to split the difference, basically a 1/4 inch on each side, and then we can attach it. So let me just set this up here. Okay, let me go ahead and attach the threshold real quick.